Hello, everybody. I want to welcome you back to God, Family, and Trapping Podcast. This is your host, Jamie Blakely. It has been a couple weeks since I've been able to do a podcast. We've been traveling to different conventions a lot, and last week I went to do a podcast, and our Wi-Fi was messed up, so I was not able to. So I apologize for that. But we are going to get one today. There is a lot of stuff that's happened in the last few weeks. We've gone to a couple different conventions. We still got two more that we're going to go to. But anyway, we will get into that. But I wanted to start the beginning of the podcast with reading a couple Bible verses that's kind of been that mean a lot to what's going on with me right now. And I hope that, some of these verses can resonate with you guys in your lives and maybe help somebody out with something they're going through. But basically what I have is a couple different verses that I'm going to read that's kind of based off tribulations that life gives you. Different things that come up where your faith is being tested or something like that. When you have trials in your life, they can be from anything, someone in your family being sick or, losing a vehicle or, with all the people in the east that are going through the hurricanes, they're going through a lot of different tribulations and trials and loss and all kinds of stuff that, I can't fathom because I've never experienced anything like that. So, we're going to read a couple Bible verses here, and then I'm going to, we'll open up in prayer, and then we'll get into the podcast. So the first verse that I have here is James chapter 1, verse 2 and 3. It says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance." And then Romans 5, verse 3 through 5 said, "Blessed is the man who remains steadfast under trial, for when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life, which God has promised to those who love him." And then Psalms 66:10, "For you, O God, have tested us, you have tried us as silver is tried." Now these are just verses that I kind of just have a list of verses on my phone, and I'm just reading them off. But basically, when trials are very, very tough to handle, to grasp sometimes, especially when you have many coming at one time. But let's go ahead and open up in prayer, and then we'll get into it. If you guys have any kinds of prayer requests that you would like me to mention or talk about, anything like that, feel free to email me at blakelystrapping@gmail.com. Just send me an email with your prayer request and I will add it to the list. But anyway, let's open up in prayer. Lord, I want to thank you for allowing me to be here and to do this podcast. I hope that people listening enjoy it and they can find something that I say that can help them in their life or any kind of trials that's going on, or just some information maybe about trapping and our future and something like that. Lord, I really would like to pray for all the people that are out east on the East Coast that are dealing with lots of loss, with losing houses, family members, and just anything like that. Lord, please be with them. And please be with our country, Lord, as there's a lot of strange things that's been going on, Lord. Our country really, really needs you back into it, Lord. And just help guide our leaders that they will make the right decisions and just do what is right, Lord. And please be with everybody on the East Coast as there's another hurricane coming in. They really, really need your hands on their lives right now, Lord. In Jesus' name I ask. Amen. Alright, so what I'm kind of going to go to is like I said, I think it's been 2 or 3 weeks since I've had a podcast episode. We've been to the Missouri Convention, the Illinois Convention, and the Kansas Convention since I've done my last podcast. The Missouri Convention was an awesome convention. That's my home state. I'm from Missouri. There was a lot of really cool, I would say really cool. There was a lot of good vendors there. They had a lot of good demos. The weather was a little crazy. On Friday it was super hot, and then on Saturday it rained all day. But other than that, there was a lot of people that I got to meet and talk to, and it was just a very, very enjoyable convention. If you guys have never been to a state convention or national or anything like that, I would highly recommend you to head out to one of the conventions. There's a lot of information that you can get, a lot of tips. They always have demos scheduled. A lot of states do one every hour, both days. So there's a lot of demos that you can listen into. There's a lot of trappers that you can talk to, and they can help you out. I mean, it's just a really good place to be, a really good environment, a bunch of trappers that all share the same values and interests. So it's a really cool place to be. Like I said, we went to the Missouri Convention. We've been to the Illinois Convention. Got to meet a lot of really good people. The Illinois Convention was really, really nice weather. It tended to be pretty windy. I think the Friday night was super windy, which I believe is when the hurricane hit the East Coast. But yeah, they're in Illinois. We was 50, 60 mile an hour winds probably. It was crazy. But like I said, the Illinois Convention was a fantastic convention. We did really good there, and got to meet a lot of cool people. Got to see some people that I hadn't got to talk to in a couple of years, as we hadn't been able to go to conventions the last couple of years. So it's really cool being able to meet up with a lot of them people and get back in touch. And then this last week we went to Kansas, and the weather was really warm. There was, again, a lot of good vendors, a lot of good people to meet. They had some good demos. One thing that really got me about the Kansas convention, we were set up across from a guy that has a trap supply business out in, I think he said, northwest Kansas. And he buys skulls and stuff like that. Well, he told me that one of his hottest items are armadillos, which kind of blew my mind, because where I live, they're not quite as bad as they used to be, but armadillos here are like roaches. They're just everywhere. They're tearing up people's yards everywhere. And I never really thought of an armadillo as being something that people would want. But he sells the shells. He sells the skulls. And it just amazes me. I think he had 5 or 6 shells and skulls that he was selling there. And that was one of the first things he sold out of. Like the first hour or two on Friday, they were all sold. And that just blew my mind. I kind of talked to him about it. I said, where I come from, they're kind of we'd always thought about them as basically cockroaches. I mean, they're just everywhere. I said, so basically, I've thrown away like $250,000 in my life between all these armadillos. There was a 6-week span, I would say probably 8 to 10 years ago, where between me, my brother, and my cousin on our old family farm, we killed like 230 armadillos. So I don't know if you guys live anywhere that has a significant number of armadillos, but they are very bad at tearing up land. They just make little holes all over the place, and they can really tear up a yard pretty quick. So that's just kind of how I always viewed them. So to see that there was interest in people buying them, that really surprised me. But Anyway, let's see. We got back from Kansas on Saturday night. On Sunday morning, we went to church. It was a fantastic day at church. We hadn't been able to go to church in about 3 or 4 weeks because we've been traveling doing conventions. So it was nice to be back in church and getting to see our church family again. But on the way home, we pulled into my mom's driveway for lunch, and our car just shut off, and we had to coast into where we was parking. And I went over there and I tried to start the car 2 or 3 different times, and it was just crank no start all 3 times. Well, this is our only running vehicle, our only dependable vehicle. It's the one that we use going to conventions and everything. So I called my brother, which my brother's a mechanic. He came up and I told him what happened, and he said, to him it sounds like a timing chain or sounds like a cam phaser blew up inside. So the likelihood of the car basically destroyed the motor. We're going to take it apart just to, verify that it's not something serious. If it's something easy, we're going to fix it, and that would be awesome. But, yeah, I had him listen while I cranked it, and you can hear something kind of slapping. It kind of sounds like a timing chain is what it sounded like to me. Timing chain slapping inside there. So that's not good, but it's just one of those things that happens. And I knew that car wasn't going to last too much longer. I was hoping it'd last to the end of the year. But anyway, I have my truck that has been needing the whole fuel system replaced. So, after just thinking about it all day, trying to figure out what to do, I decided that, I have most of the parts for my truck. We'll put it together, we'll get it fixed. It needs all new tires, which I've known that. So we'll have to get new tires, fix the fuel system. The truck still ran, I wouldn't go very far in it. So we decided to get in my truck, go to Walmart, get some groceries because we'd been gone for 3 or 4 days and we needed some groceries. So we went to Walmart, got some groceries, and then on the way home, we had a blowout on my truck. Luckily, we was just down the road from my mom's house, so I just eased it into my mom's driveway, and we had to leave it there. So it's just, with my wife's car, more than likely blowing the motor basically, and my truck having the blowout just all in the same day. Sunday was a lot, and that's what I was talking about earlier about, life's tribulations and stuff like that happens in your life. So it got to the point where I just was trying to figure out, we still have 2 conventions to go to. We have doctor's appointments we got to go to and just all kinds of stuff. And it's like, what am I going to do? So, we just decided, hey, we're going to just fix my truck and we will see what happens. So me and my brother go get my truck. I'd ordered tires, so we pull it into the shop, start putting the tires on it, and then we realize that the radiator is cracked. So if we're going to go on a trip going to Oklahoma, you can't drive on a cracked radiator because that could cause some serious problems. So I had to order a radiator to put in it. So it's just, it's one thing after another, kind of just one of those times in your life where it seems like everything just keeps going wrong. But, I know it's kind of like one of those, the devil's working on us right now, trying to break us. But, we have a very good family, a lot of good people in my family. My mom I always tell people my mom's one of the best moms that anybody could ask for. So my brother, luckily he's a mechanic. We have a mechanic shop here. So, we're pretty fortunate that, my wife's car didn't do that while we was in Kansas. It did it while we was home in my mom's driveway. Fortunate that when my tire blew, we was right by my mom's house. That we wasn't going down the highway at 60, 70 miles an hour. Fortunate that we have a mechanic shop here and we can do the work on my truck, and it's the price is very minimal compared to if I had to take it to a shop and have them do the work. So I'm very fortunate that I have the people in my life that I do that can help me. Sometimes, when things are just, it seems like bad things happen over and over and over, like vehicles and such like that. And I've been dealing with the wound for a year now. It's just one of those things where you get to where you feel like nothing. It feels like everything bad keeps happening. But then you got to pray about it, and if you put your faith and trust in God, you'll be amazed at what He will do in your life. Sometimes it's hard to see what the answer is going to be or how things are going to go. Sometimes it's hard to have the patience. But sometimes you just got to be patient, and you just got to think, this God, this is in your hands, and whatever your will is, let it be done. Because there's nothing that I can do; it's out of my control. A lot of times, if you try to just fix problems on your own, they just keep getting worse and worse and worse. It's kind of like the wound that I have. We went to the NTA in South Dakota in July, and I had surgery the Thursday after we got back. This was supposed to be the final surgery of my wound, and it should heal up no problem, and we shouldn't have to worry about it no more. Well, after my surgery, I go for my 2-week checkup, and the surgeon looks at it and he says, it looks clean, looks great. Probably about another week to 10 days it should be healed and be good to go. It's like, all right. Well, about that time we start going to conventions. We go to the Iowa convention, and we get home, and I can kind of feel that, there's something going on. And let's see, what was the next one? Missouri. About the time we go to the Missouri convention, I can feel that it's starting to kind of abscess again, and it's bleeding a little bit. Well, by the time we go to Illinois, it's a full-on abscess, and I'm like, okay, we need to call the surgeon, get back in, let him see it. So we called to make an appointment to go see the surgeon. The night before we're supposed to go see him, they left me a voicemail saying they no longer accept my insurance, so we can't go see them. It's like, okay, so what can I do now? It's like, well, let's just call my local doctor, my practitioner, and let her look at it and see what she thinks. Well, she says that, probably going to have surgery again, and she's going to find me a new surgeon and recommend me one. I said, okay. When she gave me some kind of antibiotic shot in my hip and a prescription for antibiotics. Well, then we go to the Kansas convention. Well, during the Kansas convention, it busted and it started draining itself, which is a good thing. That, if it drains itself, that means I won't have to go have surgery. So this happens Thursday when we're at Kansas, and I'm kind of hoping, that's what's going on. It's draining and I won't have to worry about it. Well, then come Friday night, it's basically all drained out. So we're not going to have to worry about it. And, here it is Tuesday, and it's, about drained out. It's about done bleeding now. So, that's kind of one of those things that God was definitely looking out for me. And, sometimes it's hard to get caught up in life and not see, how God's working in your life. But, a week ago, we thought that I was going to have to go have surgery again. And this would have been my fourth surgery for the same thing within a 14-month period. About 14-month period, yeah. So, I'm still dealing with the wound and still trying to get it healed. And hopefully it gets healed by, the end of next month, because I'm wanting to go trapping. I want to trap hard this year. I'm working at trying to get different properties so I can trap, and I really hope my wound is healed up so I can trap as hard as I want to. But yeah, it's just one of those things that sometimes you just have to pray and, tell God, this, I really need your help, and, I need you to heal me. And, it's not going to be overnight, but if you truly put your faith and trust in God, it's amazing the things you can see in your life start changing in the way that God works. I always say God works in mysterious ways, and it's definitely true. But anyway, that's just kind of what's been going on with me lately. Like I said, we've been traveling to conventions like crazy with the kids. My oldest daughter, she's 4. She's really enjoying it. She likes being able to just go. Kansas, they had a barn that had a bunch of sand in it, and she could go play in the sand the whole time. And then across the parking lot, they had a flower garden, so she could go play in the flower garden. So, I mean, she had fun the whole time, playing in the sand in the flower garden. And the Iowa convention and the Illinois convention had stages that we were set up by, so she got to play on the stages, and she loved that. So it's been a really, really cool experience getting to go to all these conventions. I feel really blessed that I get the opportunity to do all of it, and get to travel around and see different states. And it's really cool being able to meet all the people from all around the world. And I really, really enjoy it. My family enjoys it, and it's something that we're definitely planning on doing next year. We already have, 6 or 7 conventions planned that we're going to go to next year at least, and we'll be looking at adding more. But anyway, yeah, there's just, like I said, there's been a ton of stuff going on. There's another vendor that I got to meet at the Missouri convention, Gary with Predator Potion. I'd seen his stuff on Facebook and YouTube over the last couple years, and we'd talked on comments kind of, but I got to meet him the first time at Missouri, and he's a really, really good guy. Glad I got to meet him. He was actually at the Kansas show with us, as his home state is Kansas. So, and he's going to be at the Oklahoma show that we're going to this week. So I getting to meet these really, really good people that it's just fun meeting them. You get to talk to them and listen. Learn things from them. Gary's a really, really good trapper. He puts up high numbers. I think he averages between 50 and 70 bobcats a year and 200 to 300 coyotes a year. So, I mean, he puts up the high numbers, and he's a very successful trapper, and he's been like that for years. So I'm very excited to follow along on his social media this year and being able to watch his videos and how he does this year. If you guys want, definitely check out his. He's got Facebook and YouTube. I know for sure it's just Predator Potion. He makes bait and lure too. Really good stuff that. I've talked to a lot of people at the conventions that have had really good success with it. So I know he makes really good products. So definitely go check him out. And I got to become real good friends with Logan Xline, with River Bottom Lures. He's out of Iowa. We've been to, he was at the NTA, he was at the Iowa convention, the Missouri convention, and the Illinois convention. And then he'll be at the Bloomfield convention in Iowa. So we'll be at 5 conventions together this year. So, it's really cool to, like I said, get to meet these people. Logan, I've talked to him quite a few times on Facebook and stuff like that over the years, and so I mean we knew each other, but getting to actually, meet and spend time face to face talking, it just you get to build a relationship that you really couldn't do on, Facebook and stuff like that. So it's really awesome. Like I said, I feel blessed getting to do all this. Another one of my good friends, Bruce Rhodes with Backwater Bait. He's helped me out a lot over the years with just information and stuff like that. I first met Bruce 4 years ago, I believe, 4 or 5 years ago, and we've kept in contact pretty regularly. And he puts on the convention in Iowa, in Bloomfield, that we'll be going to in 2 weeks, and this will be our second time setting up there. So I'm really excited to head back up there and get to do that show. So like I said, if you guys haven't been to any kind of conventions or even some of these, if you go to your home state's association's website, you can figure out who your local directors are, whether your directors are by county or zones or however they do it, and they put on different clinics. So you can go to one of those clinics and you can, get some tips and learn new things at those, or maybe you want to help out and, be an instructor or just help in any way you can. Definitely do that. The conventions, the clinics, whatever. I'd also really suggest that you join your state's convention, be a member of the association. Because when you buy your membership through their association, if you buy the $30 or $40 yearly subscription, you get a subscription to the Trapper's Post that you'll get. I think they send it out every 3 months, so you'll get a subscription to that. You also get their state, if they have a state magazine or pamphlet or whatever, you'll get that also. And that money helps them, if anything pops up in your state with legislation or antis trying to fight against, a lot of states are dealing with bobcat seasons right now, or just the trapping rights in general. Your state association is going to go to the courts and all this stuff and help fight that. Well, when you get your membership, your money helps them do that. They need the funds to be able to, fight for our rights and all kinds of things like that. They also, with those funds, your convention, or your association, they help put on clinics to, teach kids and to just teach anybody basically about trapping and why we trap and the reasons for trapping. And, you can, like I said, you can go to these little clinics and they will have hands-on demonstrations and stuff like that you can learn. You can take your kids to it, and they're just really awesome events. So I would highly, highly suggest you to join your state association. I'm part of, a few different states. I'm a member of a few different states associations, and I plan on becoming members of more in the future. So that's definitely a thing that I would suggest, is join your state's association and go to conventions or clinics or anything like that you are able to. I do know the Oklahoma convention is in, I believe it's Perry, Oklahoma. It is this weekend, Friday and Saturday. Again, there's going to be some good vendors set up. Going to have some great demos lined up for people to watch. And all these associations, they'll have dinners after the convention, whatever day they'll have dinners. They have either the Friday or the Saturday, they'll have an auction, and the funds from the auction, they help the association build funds for the same reason why you buy your membership. It helps them fight different things in legislation. So these are just great events that you can come learn, or you can just come talk, or maybe you just want to, come get some supplies and save on shipping and stuff like that. They're just great places for everyone to go. I mean, I would say if you've never been to one, I would highly suggest going to one. But yeah, we're hoping that we can get my truck fixed today. If not today, at least get it done tomorrow, and we'll be able to drive it to Oklahoma. So that's basically the Oklahoma convention is based on if we can get my truck running correctly or not. If we can't get it running correctly today or tomorrow, then we will not be able to attend the Oklahoma convention. But if you guys are on my Facebook and stuff like that, I'm definitely going to keep it updated on what's going on, if we're going to be there or not. I have a lot of packages that I need to ship out, and again, we don't have a vehicle where I can take the packages to the post office and stuff like that. So we're it's hard not having a vehicle for sure. But anyway, I still got a lot of stuff I got to get done, so this podcast probably won't be too much longer. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you guys have any questions or subjects that you'd like me to talk about, please email me at blakelystrapping@gmail.com, or you can even message me on Facebook or anything like that. If you have any questions you want me to answer on the podcast, or if you have any subjects you'd like me to talk about, or just anything like that, I really appreciate it. And I think that's about it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. Like I said, it's not going to be a super long one, as I just, it's a very, very busy time. But I really appreciate it. And hopefully that we get my truck done and we can go to Oklahoma, and hopefully I'll get to see you guys this weekend in Oklahoma. So I'll go ahead and end us in prayer. And again, I just really appreciate you guys listening. Lord, I want to thank you again for allowing me the opportunity to just get to do what I do and be able to do the podcast here that we've just started up. And please help me have the words to say and that can help people in whatever kind of situations they may be going through. Lord, just please be with our country, there's just so many things happening in our country that is just overwhelming, Lord. Our country really needs you back into it, Lord. Just please be with our leaders, that they can make the right decisions and actually, be for the American people, Lord. And just please be with everybody listening, Lord, that you can help them with any kind of problems they're going through, Lord. If they're struggling with somebody in the family being sick, or if they're sick, Lord, just please lay your healing hand upon them, Lord, and help them. And Lord, if there's anybody listening here that's, doesn't know you as their Lord and Savior, and they're not saved, Lord, please help lay it on their heart that they will come to know you, Lord, or place somebody in their life that can help them, to help guide them in the directions that they need to come to know you, Lord. Because, one of the greatest things that we can do is to just trust in you, put our faith in you, Lord, and give our lives over to you, Lord, because, our lives can be so much different when we just entrust you to guide our lives, Lord. And again, I just want to thank you for everything, and I want to just hope that we all have a great weekend and a great rest of our year, Lord. Just in my ask, amen.